And the amazing thing about him, I noticed, and a lot of young artists should even take notice of this, after the show he would put a chair out on stage, as you probably know too, Scott, you might have seen this.
Yeah, I did.
He would sit out there, didn't matter how many people who'd waited, he just waited to see the lot, sign their autographs or their CDs, and he would not move off that stage until they were all gone.
Alright, let's have a crack.
Oh, you can read and join us, eh?
That's the idea. Alright.
Have you hidden the PowerPoint?
We're going to start?
Yep.
Alright. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. We have something very special for you today. We have Lindsay Butler, which is going to be high maintenance, always. But we've roped him into it. We have Scotty Parker. He's an absolute legend, mate. You're a great bloke. It always smells good. It always smells good. But no. So you are the grandson of
Buddy Williams.
Buddy Williams, there you go. And also a top pilot, flying all around the world. So we're keen to hear some stories about that. And we have Shaza Leigh.
Thank you very much.
The star, because it's the Shaza Leigh show.
Wonderful to be here.
It's been a while since we've done one, isn't it?
It has been, and it's great to be back in the seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First time we're working together.
I know,
it's a
bit special, my son.
Anyway,
this is my son, Lachlan Butler.
Thank you. Anyway, kick it over to you to ask the first question.
Yeah, I think I'd probably like to start with Lindsay. Lindsay actually toured with Buddy Williams early in his career and got his start with Athol McCoy and then was employed by Buddy, which was like a dream gig for him at the time. I wanted to talk to you about the touring and how tough it was out in that area. Like those early pioneers, they really, really worked hard and lived tough to be able to take their music to the people.
You had to be tough to survive out there. That's basically it. You know, you live on bully beef and all that sort of stuff. And you couldn't get anything else better to eat. But Buddy was a very special bloke out in that country. He's loved by all the Aboriginal people and from tours he did out there. And not only that, he was also a very clever mechanic. Buddy could always get his trucks going out in that country when no one else could.
Yeah, and needed to.
And needed to, because on our the last trip, the last tour I did with him, we had. I actually took my car in the caravan, and there was two others. Harold had a car and a caravan. Buddy, of course, had a big caravan, and I heard so many stories about what he could do to get out of that country when things went wrong. Like, apparently he had a broken axle in a caravan or a truck or something one time, and he cut down a limb off a tree and somehow put it all together to get the thing moving and get out, and it got out.
So he took one less guitar and carried wire. That's probably a good bit of advice for you when we tour.
No comment there.
He kicks me out of my bed to fit 2 extra guitars.
He does.
Honestly.
And I trip over guitars getting to bed.
I can actually tell you a story that happened. I become Buddy's sort of offsider of a night time when he had to do something with the trucks or the caravan.
Did you hold the torch?
Yeah. I was a torch holder. And he used to always say, Lindsay, we've got a little job, can you come and hold the torch? Yeah.
Can I ask you, did you get your fingers dirty? Like, did you ever get your hands dirty?
No.
He probably had a torch in this hand, there's the other one. There you go.
And a comb.
Yeah.
This particular night, we were at, I think it was you and the Moo, we did a show there, and after the show there was a problem with some of the, one of the caravans, I'm not sure which one it was, Buddy decided to fix it after the show. And I knew straight away I'd be out there holding the torch for him.
Uncle Harold, where were you?
Now that's the thing. They were a duo.
Couldn't find Uncle Harold.
H, what's going on?
But
he made sure he couldn't be found.
Yeah. Here we were out underneath holding the torch and sort of all these, and Buddy was doing his thing with the wheel, and I sort of feel these little things crawling around the ground, and I thought, oh, there must be just beetles or something like that. And anyway, after a while I got suspicious and I put the torch down and they were scorpions.
They would have been in the desert.
Scorpions all around. So, and I thought, you know, geez, I don't like the look of this. Anyway,
I reckon you said something else.
I think so.
I reckon you're being kind here.
Anyway, what I did, I said to Buddy, you realise there's scorpions all around us here, crawling around on the ground? He said, oh, don't take any notice of them. He said, they won't bite you if you don't bite them. And he just went on fixing the wheel.
I can see what I'm saying.
Well, that was different to what we were told when we slept in the desert one night and we had a light on and all the scorpions were coming at us and they told us to move the light to take them away because they would bite us.
Yeah.
I still reckon you said something else.
No, he was a remarkable bloke with getting the vehicles on the road and all that sort of thing.
He was very good to you too, like you guys had a really close relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. He, whenever my car was blowing up, he used to fix it for me. Yeah,
Well,
always.
You'd be-
You would have been the one that always
you
had
know
problems,
what?
eh?
You would have been living at Papunya if he had.
He said to me one night, he said, you know, as a mechanic, he said, Lindsay, you're not a bad guitar player. They were good times though. I consider myself very lucky that I got to do tours with Buddy and we got great memories there. But the other one too, that might be interesting, is when I got word from Buddy that he wanted me to go and join the show. This is the first trip. I had to go down to, he was down at Liverpool in Sydney.
Is this the big audition?
Yeah,
This is the big audition.
It's a good story, isn't
It is a good one.
okay.
Anyway,
This is your granddad.
Yeah.
so I caught a train, the old McLennan's mail down to Sydney and had a few parties on the way down and got there next morning and got picked up at the Liverpool where they were. And sitting over in the caravan with the other bloke, Terry Wescombe was the other artist, and we're just sitting there in the morning talking, and I was sort of wondering when Buddy was going to come over and see us. Anyway, sure enough, he did come over about 11 o'clock. Walks into the van, didn't say much, and he said, picks up an old acoustic guitar and strings, and he hands it to me and said, play guitar boogie.
Really?
This is true, yeah, play guitar boogie. Because he didn't know much about me back then.
Yeah.
And so I picked it up and I played it as fast as I could play it. And probably about halfway through he just said, yeah, okay, that's good. Walked out and that was it.
So did you know that you were employed?
Yeah, I said I must be employed.
You weren't sent
Was
home.
Nana there?
Mm-hmm.
Was Nana there?
She was there, but she wasn't over in the van at the time.
Yeah.
She used to keep you under control.
She did, yeah.
And Harold?
Nan kept me under control. So.
No.
She tried.
She was lovely. Yeah, Grace, so great respect for her and Buddy too. And as I said, I'm so lucky that I got to do those tours with them. And the other thing that I'm very proud of, that I was able to co-produce his last album that he recorded here in Tamworth. And that was the honour for me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Buddy was so happy with that album when we finished with it. Actually, Gary Coxhead was the other one that was helped in the production.
Yep.
And
See, the more I get to sit down, I learn more.
Yeah.
Every single
never
time.
stops, does it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because for you, it's been interesting for you being the grandson, because you didn't really know how prolific and how famous your pop was.
No, I guess the first inkling, and Mum even brings it up every now and then, is Maguire's. And we're going to do there for night. That's another reason I really want to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was in 1986, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe Christmas 1985.
Mm.
And he did a concert there with Lindsay and the Lindsay Butler band and everybody like that. And Uncle Harold was singing as well. And the TV turned up and it's like, what's going
Seriously?
on here? So then I sort of
Who's
started,
famous?
but it was just always Pop because we never saw him through the year at all.
Because he was on the road.
Because he was on the road.
Yeah.
But at Christmas time was Nan and Pop are coming, Brett and Sis are coming, my cousins, Uncle Harold's coming, Auntie Karen. It's a big deal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's Christmas. I love Christmas. Pop loved Christmas. I
So
love Christmas.
your mum
with him.
always hosted Christmas, did she?
No, it changed.
Right.
We might end up down at Uncle Harold's at Manila. We might have been in Gladstone with Auntie Karen. It might have been Mackay.
Okay.
Just wherever Pop was stopping, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then sometimes I remember it'd be like, okay, he's finished touring and he goes down to Kempsey to pick up, that's where Brett and Sis were, pick them up and then drive up to Mackay or wherever, but it was always really exciting.
Yeah.
And even getting to stay and sleep in the van, that was cool.
How does it feel for you now that that you're more aware of how famous he was?
It's a bit overwhelming sometimes because
Yeah.
it's Pop. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I still can't get past.
Yeah.
So it's like a disassociation for you. You
Yeah.
can't bring the two together.
No, I'm trying. I
Yeah.
try hard. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, you're not meant to try hard.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to try. So,
He's just got to sing.
I
You've
know,
just got to
right, yeah.
sing, Scotty.
Off the back of that though, like what was it like knowing him and seeing him completely different to everyone else in the world and in Australia? Like, how did you feel towards the man that was your Pop, not the man that was a country music star?
loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved him. It's just Pop.
So,
I don't know how to
so he was just like.
I wish I could
every other Pop.
articulate it a little bit better. I mean, I guess it's no different than...
I think I can probably help you in that people have a public image that they perceive stars as being different, but when they're behind closed doors, they're just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And there's a warmth and a depth, and they just love their family like everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's sort of what I was asking, is just behind closed doors. How was he with you and what did you guys do together?
Oh, we just sit down and have a chat about different things. Don't put me on the spot like you just have. But, you know, and Lindsay and Shaza probably loved his white tank top shirts, those white singlets.
Yeah, I remember them.
He was always in those.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and just cruising around and enjoying being with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just easy
Very.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's tired. I remember him being tired.
because he'd been out on the road for months and months, and the only time he would stop would be Christmas, because I believe their show stayed on the road most of the year, didn't it?
Yeah, he didn't stop.
Yeah, it's not like it is now where we go out for a period, we do a block, we have a break, we do another block. Very different.
In Hand on Heart, I didn't really understand what he was doing properly. And the more I talk about it with you guys and other people that come and speak to me, the more I learn.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from Auntie Karen. Mum tells me snippets every now and then if it comes up.
Well, that generation all had the opportunity to be out on the road. They all performed. They were all part of the concert. And Lindsay knows that because you toured with all of them.
Yeah, and the other remarkable thing too was Grace, basically, because I know that she used to pine because she wasn't seeing her kids. She'd be away from her kids for months, eh?
Yeah.
And family, and she often used to have a little conversation about what they were doing and that sort of thing. So it was amazing that she always supported Buddy on those tours. She knew that he wanted to go.
Yeah, and we talked about that earlier today, how those show women, it was a very, very difficult decision for them because they wanted to be there to support their men, and they worked so hard behind the scenes to hold everything together. And yet their children had to be educated, so they had to send their children off to boarding schools, and very, very difficult thing for them to do. But nearly every one of them of that generation, they were tough. They stayed out on the road, supported their men. And for the children, we were talking about how your mum, she chose to get out of show business to actually give you guys a life, and so she put being a mother above and beyond her own career. Yeah,
And she's very happy.
Oh, you made her happy. I bet not. He would have been hard work, okay?
Just a little.
Yeah. You got any more stories you want to share? I think you should share some about H, because H and Lindsay were like two peas in a pod and used to get up to a lot of
Be
mischief.
afraid, Uncle Harold. Be very afraid.
You were Grace's biggest worry on the two of you two.
Well, Harold was never Harold to me. His name was H. H. I always called him H, and he always called me LB. And we used to like parties a bit, and used to like a few beers after a
I'm
show.
shocked.
Sometimes a bit more than we should have had, but anyway, we always did our job. And Harold, one of his major spots in the show was to play guitar boogie. And he used
Faster than you?
He used to do it very fancy, and he used to always want to do it on my guitar. So I had to learn him my guitar to old jazz master, and he played guitar boogie. And, no, but we had some good times.
Did you panic
together.
when you handed it to him? Like, did you?
No, he respected it.
Oh, good.
They were great.
You don't even want me to play your
No, he
guitar.
doesn't.
And then he doesn't want to share it with anyone. I can't believe it.
I've got to say a word because for Scotty's mum, Kay, she was one of the best acts I think I ever saw on stage. She was lively and sang beautiful country songs. And back in those days, we weren't allowed to go out on stage and play like a band is now. We had to sit behind the curtains.
You would love that.
Like a guitar player had to sit behind the curtains, and you couldn't see them.
Really?
And we didn't have monitors or anything like that back in those days. They weren't invented.
I would have been windy.
So you weren't on. You were behind them with a curtain.
Yeah,
couldn't see them.
all you could do is sort of listen to what they were singing. Which
I've got to ask this: is that why when they took the curtain up,
Yeah.
you got on stage, and you still went? and you didn't
You
smile.
have to smile. That's why you never learned to smile.
Sorry.
Hey, actually, I've never put that together, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I just went, maybe that's.
That's the way it was. You were playing to a ghost, trying to back someone you couldn't hear half the
Yeah.
time, and it's the way it was. And then at the end of the show, or just before the end of the show, Buddy would he'd bring all the people out on stage and do a thing.
Yeah, so it was all about the star.
Yeah, all about the star back in those days.
Yep. So, Dad, was there a particular show that stands out for you that you did with Buddy?
Just about all of them, I think.
Yeah. All pretty special?
Yeah, pretty special.
Yeah.
Because you loved him. You were a fan
Yeah.
before you had the opportunity to work with him.
I was 5-year-old when I first heard him sing on the radio, and all our families straight away become great fans, eh? And there's no one like Buddy Williams. My mum always said Buddy was her favourite. She used to say Buddy Williams is the nicest one. And the amazing thing about him, I noticed, and a lot of young artists should even take notice of this, after the show he would put a chair out on stage, as you probably know too, Scott. You might have seen this.
Yeah, I did.
He would sit out there, didn't matter how many people had waited, he just waited to see the lot, sign their autographs or their CDs, and he would not move off that stage until they were all gone. And some of them would want to tell him their hard life.
And do you know, that was one, I met him when I was only a kid and had the opportunity, and Tommy Oliver, the songwriter, invited me to his place because Buddy and Grace were coming through town, and I was only really young, and they wanted to introduce me and let me meet a legend. And that was one of the pieces of advice that he imparted to me, was that the fans are just the most important thing to your career. And even to this day, I am always the last to stop talking, stop signing, and I don't leave until I've signed for the very last person.
That's true. Yeah.
And I've carried that with me, and that was actually one of the best pieces of advice that I believe he could have imparted. And the other thing was to actually keep that little bit of mystery about you as an artist. You don't allow fans to see everything about you, because if they find out that you are just normal like them, they lose that little bit of mystique about you as an artist. So to just retain that little bit of privacy. And so they were two very key things that he taught me in my career that I have carried, and I think they've served me very well.
Where'd you pick that up from? When were you with him to learn that?
I was only a kid. Yeah, I was only really young. I was actually invited to go and have tea and coffee with Buddy and Grace. They were stopping at Tommy Oliver's for a couple of hours.
This is the thing that I don't...
Nice.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's Nana and Pop. And you're like, oh my God, that's life-changing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like you were
I
listening
carried
to
it
Lindsay
through.
since you were 5, and I'm like...
And I'm sitting there as a kid, and these two people just, like, they were true stars. Your Nana was too, not just your Pop.
I know.
They walked into that room, and the room just lifted. Everyone,
Like an aura,
everyone looked at them, and I was just in awe, because I'm this little kid just fixated on these two people and just really absorbing the magnitude of what I'd been afforded the opportunity to do. It was just amazing, and I've never ever forgotten that.
So it wouldn't be too far for me to take a step from that and just say you were inspired, and that's sort of, look what we've ended up with here. In a way, you
Look
know?
what we've ended up with
No,
here.
that's
When you talk about Nana, I love her. I always stop that.
Yeah, look, she was larger than life. They both were,
Yeah.
and they both had this charisma and this air about them. And Buddy's face would just light up when he would smile. A lot of your mannerisms and the way when we're laughing and joking and just relaxing, I actually see a lot of that in you
Is
too.
that right?
In your
Yeah.
mother, you just light up. Yeah, it's beautiful. And
I light up. Not shy either.
he's also hard work. I understand, Kay.
I'm going to put you on the spot again here, mate.
Oh.
Just have a think for me. Is there, you've just shared your piece of wisdom that you got from them?
Yeah.
Is there a specific piece of wisdom or way of life philosophy that you picked up from them that you've carried throughout yours?
Yeah, but it's not what you think.
Okay, yeah.
It's 100% not what you think.
Yeah.
It's live in the moment. You can always get more money. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know, so many things stop people, me included, initially. It's like, well, go and do that. Go and ride that jet ski. Go and, you know, jump out of an aeroplane, I've parachuted and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Experience life.
Absolutely.
And
Live life.
yeah,
Truly live
100%.
it.
And you know, I've said it to Auntie Karen. We've had this same chat where Nana would go, "You've got it from your grandfather." It's like you can always get more money, but you used to say that to Mum.
Yeah, so they never allowed money to rule their life. It was about life experience itself.
No, I think if you know, like Pop loved his cars, yeah, Lindsay.
I believe so.
It'd be
Karen
like-
told us about it.
Be like, "Father, I think it's Nana, Father. We'd be really rich if we didn't have those money."
I think I must have sold Buddy about 4 or 5 guitars over the years.
Did you?
Yeah, he loved buying guitars.
Yeah.
Is that where you got it from?
Yeah, if he went shopping somewhere out on the road, he'd always come back with another guitar, eh?
Yeah.
And the other side of the coin is he didn't speak much about his service in the war, but he just kept going.
Yeah,
With it.
stoic. Yep.
So I picked that up. He
Strong.
didn't give up. He was strong. He from what I I'm just picking all these. You know, he was harsh but fair.
Yeah.
I think. And that's written in through some of those songs like from John Williamson as
Yeah.
well.
I think he was just strong and powerful and lived life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So that sounds like to me like you've just picked that up from observing how he's gone about life and applied that yourself, as opposed to anything
And don't for a
specifically
minute
told you.
think I think my grandfather's perfect. I'm not perfect. I know he's not either.
Really, Scotty?
I'm just saying, you know,
Everyone
like-
would say you're perfect, darling.
No, so not perfect. They make some mistakes, but so yeah, no, I'm very much aware of all the other side of the coin as well, which is good because we're all human, right?
Yep.
What I love is that your family are very much like us. They're a core as a family, and they're really quite private. But when you're with them and and if you're embraced and accepted, you're embraced and accepted, and you can feel that love. And we have a lot of love for your family. And
I know, so it's
it's very special.
100%.
Yeah, it's very special. And we've shared some really beautiful times with all of you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember Karen telling us some stories one night, and it was just absolutely magnificent. We've had some really special times with her, and just connected immediately. And I bring that up because your family now are still preserving Buddy's legacy, and online you're actually you've created a website and a social media, and you're actually keeping his legacy alive.
Yeah, we are across Auntie Karen, Uncle Harold's an admin as well. It's progressing slowly. It's probably the best way.
Yeah,
to do
but that's
it.
okay. You know what?
It's
It
there.
doesn't matter how fast something happens. The fact that it's happening is important.
I think hand on heart, I probably had ideas that this would go woohoo, gangbusters straight away. It doesn't work that way. So
No,
it takes time to
but
build
everyone's
and-
busy. Everyone has their
Correct.
own life. But what you're doing is really important. You're actually preserving his memory and the whole Williams family into the future for future generations. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like a lot of kids these days in the younger generation. Not that you're a kid, but
Oh, actually, I am.
you're a bigger kid than that.
I think he's past that.
Yeah, but no, a lot of the younger generation, they wouldn't care. They don't care. So it's really great to see.
Yeah.
To see that, yeah, and I hope to do the same.
And
thing
you
into
are doing
future.
you're doing
I'm
the
my best.
same for
That's
us.
what we're here
and-
doing now.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
special. Lachlan's very mindful of preserving our legacy and our future, and it's wonderful to see. There's nothing that warms your heart more than seeing the younger generation actually care about what has.
It's inspiring to me because when people dedicate themselves and commit themselves in their lives to a pursuit like your grandparents did, it deserves to be remembered and documented properly. So
Yeah,
I love seeing and hearing that you're
He's
doing that.
actually really good, isn't he? Like,
he's great.
as an MC.
Oh,
Just
thank
saying.
you.
Good artist, good drummer.
We might
And
get this one back, mate. We'll get it back.
It's all right. He'll take over my show in no time at all.
No. I've got no questions.
So we say, just get rid of Shaz and keep locking.
No. But anyway, it's really good to see. Yeah, that's inspiring for me too, you know. So,
Yeah. Beautiful.
Great.
Yeah. So, did you have any more stories you'd like to share before we wrap?
He was full of talk before this,
Yeah,
so
he had
you
lots
have
to
to have more stories.
Oh, I probably do, but I have to got to think of them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a moment, we'll cut it out.
Lindsay. No. No more stuff. Uncle Harold, I'm stopping it
More
now.
hate stories. I've got a few, but I only toured with them once. I can't share.
Yeah, no, I remember the good times, and there were hard times too, but all part of being on tour, and all I can say is that I'd do it all over again if I had to. And
I'll ask you a dramatic question, because drama's a bit of good. So, wait, drama, sorry. A bit of drama is good. You were talking about bad times. Was there ever a moment that you feared for your life, or you thought something was going to go horribly wrong, or it did go horribly wrong, and you're like, how are we going to come back from this on the road?
I had a few scares on the road when I was driving all the miles out there in that flat country. One day I was driving along and I realised I was driving over in the paddock, not on the road. Little things like that, you know.
Oh, yeah, the old story. I was driving on the road and looking at the bushes, and I was in the bushes looking at the road.
But, there's little things like that happen. There's a thousand stories out there when you sit down and remember them all.
Yeah. The missions and settlements, they would have been just amazing though, because like I first had the opportunity to go out there nearly 40 years ago, and it's just magnificent. It's like you're stepping into another realm. It's a completely other world.
Yeah, well, I do remember travelling through that country. Harold was with us at the time, and Harold had an old Land Cruiser. Thank God, he did have one. And it took us probably all day to go about 10 kilometres, just continuously bog in the bull dust and the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we've
we'd
done
have
the
to get
same
Harold
thing.
to come and pull us out. He'd take the caravan off and come and pull us out with the old Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
And that was a sort of a thing that make you think, what am I doing out here? But anyway,
Yeah.
And your caravans, like, I couldn't believe that you took your caravans on those roads, because I went out, about 20 years after you, and the roads, I wouldn't take a caravan on them in a million years. But you guys used to buy a new van, take them out, and they'd fall to bits, and you'd come back and buy another new van.
I bought a brand new one to go with one of the tours out there. Came back with the front out of it, eh?
Yeah.
Front was missing.
That sounds like one of your vehicles.
Just the corrugations I could.
Yeah, don't play it on the road. We've seen the Land Cruiser. Your current one.
And I only had a little old Holden Belmont or something I was towing it with.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing that you got to have good cars out in that country. But, as I said, I'd do it all over again if I had a chance, I guess.
Yeah. Well, mate, we'd just like to thank you for being here today. Great to see you,
It's
Scotty.
good to see you.
We need to speak about the pilot stuff.
Oh.
He's got a whole other life.
Oh, righto. Well,
He is a wicked dude.
okay. Well, righto. No worries.
But hold on. The first obvious question we haven't asked yet. So, grandson of musicians?
Yes.
How are you going with your music journey? You got a music journey,
Look,
mate? Tell us all about it.
don't try, Scott.
Just sing.
Just sing. Look,
Don't be a try-hard.
What's the
It's
story
just
behind
relax
this?
and
the
sing.
interesting thing about that, I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this. You asked me the question and I'll answer it because I know where you're going with
No,
this.
I'm actually curious to hear about the serious stuff before we get to that.
Oh, okay. No, well, I get a lot of joy out of just sitting down and playing the guitar and singing. However that comes out, it comes out. And I do that live for fun. And that's my practice at the same time. So I can stuff it up and it can sound bloody terrible. But at the same time, from what I've seen just with friends and stuff, they like it real and unfiltered and however. And they get a lot of joy out of that. My friends just saying hello and they'll sit there and say hello and go, can you play and sing that? I'll just sit there and go, oh my God, really? Okay, we'll give it a go. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm not a professional musician. I've never professed to be. My career is aviation, which I love, but I love sitting down with a guitar and singing and playing, and you can just lose hours.
What made you decide that you wanted to be a pilot?
I said,
Not everyone decides they just want to be a pilot.
No, I said
want to ask
playing.
the same question.
I said playing before Dad, according to Mum. So
Okay.
that goes back to my grandparents on Dad's side had a station near Cooktown called McIver,
Yep.
and we'd fly up.
Right.
We were really lucky, so we'd fly up. So I was on aeroplanes when I was really little.
Yeah,
and,
that exposure.
Yes.
loved it.
And you just always.
And then of
loved
course,
being a
and you
pilot.
can't do it now, unfortunately. But if you were on a commercial flight, and a cabin crew would come back, who wants to go and meet the pilot? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go straight up. So.
Yeah.
And just fascinated with aviation straight away.
Yeah.
Right from.
Yeah.
So you finished school, uni, and went straight into being a pilot.
I did.
Wow. Where did you train?
I did a lot of training in Brisbane and Mackay.
Right. So Queensland based.
Yeah, Queensland.
Yep. And you're now based in Melbourne
I am.
and flying all around the world.
I am.
Yeah. And loving it.
I am.
Happy boy. No, it's a pretty extraordinary journey, really.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Back on what you just said before, do you get to talk to many kids or passengers much as a pilot? And
I go out of my way to talk if they want to talk to me when I'm checking in. I get photos with kids. I make sure they go if they're interested. We'll make time after we land because that's the only time we can do it. The outdoors shut before departure, but after that's fine. Then we'll bring them up and we'll get photos and we'll have a chat with
beautiful.
them.
So that must be genetic.
I was thinking, yeah, how beautiful
That's
is that?
genetic. That's
Yeah.
exactly the way that your pop was with the fans.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's important if they're interested to encourage it, and you know,
Correct.
even pre-departure, checking in my bag, I'll have a chat with the families and.
Okay. When you're talking to people, what would be the most common questions you'd asked?
Can I get free flights?
There you go.
Man, we're a bit slow. We haven't asked that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you ever imagine doing anything else? Like you've devoted your life to your industry and your career?
No.
So that's
yeah,
what,
no, I love it.
that's what you were meant
That's
to
what I was
do.
meant to do.
Yeah,
That's your
calling.
purpose.
100%.
That's so cool.
How
yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'm really lucky, and even Kate, she said you are so lucky. You've always known what you want to do. It's really, really proud of my sister. She's a pharmacist, but
Yes.
she really struggled. She didn't know what she wanted to do,
Yeah.
and she actually went back to university, and then decided, based on doing science, that she might. Okay, I'm interested in this. I'll go and do pharmacy. So, but she didn't have a clue.
Mm.
But I've always known.
Yep.
Yeah. But she's enjoyed her career path.
Yeah, she loves it.
Great.
But she's gone down the. Instead of being community pharmacy, she really enjoys doing hospital pharmacy.
Mm. Well, it certainly lets everyone know that it was a great decision of your mother's to basically sacrifice her aspirations of a career to actually settle and have her children educated.
Yeah, and it wasn't really until we had a good chat about it made sense today.
Yeah.
The same.
It's all right, Kay. I've sorted him out for you.
Anyway, so you decide you want to be a pilot from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
How does that process come about for any aspiring pilots out there, young and old?
Ah,
Because it would be very intensive and whatnot. Like it's not an easy thing to get into.
first thing I'm going to say is anybody can do it if you want to do it. Doctors got trained. We get trained. Guitarists get trained. You get learned. You're taught how to drive a car. It's no different.
Yeah.
So if you want to do anything,
You just do it.
you do it, and you do it the best you can. I wouldn't wish it like on anybody's. If you didn't want to do it, it'd be bad. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
You'll find a way to
Yeah.
do it. But I mean, there's options where you can finish school and go into a cadetship. You can self-fund and pay for it and go through that way. You can go to the military.
Yep.
As well. So
Okay. There's plenty of pathways.
yeah, there is.
Yep. And I guess once you got it, the question probably a lot of the young men want to know is, how does being a pilot and that status affect your dating life?
Oh. That's the first thing. You don't
we
tell.
want all the hot goss.
Yeah, absolutely 100%. Don't tell them you're a pilot, mate.
Fair dinkum.
Oh, 100%.
What do you
Because it's
mean?
like, pilot, eh? Get on every port.
Yep. And never home.
Never home.
I'm sitting here going, that's actually a downside.
Yeah,
for
100%.
Absolutely.
So what about the movies though? Like that,
That's
the
the
portrayal of
movies.
that.
Yeah, that's the movies.
But the movies are good.
No, the girls just go, oh man, he'll never be there for me.
Yeah, he had a different story for me off camera.
But I was really bad lucky.
But you saw the grin when he said he enjoys what he
Yeah,
does
yeah.
for a career.
Yeah. I guess we just have to read between the lines on that.
Yeah. Keep reading, bro. Keep
Leave
reading.
it to the imagination.
Do you have any wacky superstitions?
Not so much on the bigger aeroplanes,
Yeah.
but when I was on the smaller ones, like the 4-seaters or the 6-seaters that I used to fly, if I started the pre-flight the wrong way and then realised it, and that could be the walk around, I've started the walk around the wrong way, or I'd go back and start it again. And just go, no, I'm not bad juju.
I have a feeling that was really bad. I'm like that with the vacuum cleaner sometimes.
Yeah, I'll try that again. So, 100% guilty.
Beautiful.
Have you got any, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask, but have you got any mates that you fly with or that you know of that have their own wacky stuff?
We're all a bit different.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And you've got to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Scott. It's been fantastic to have you with us here in Tamworth.
No, I loved
And
Had a
thanks a
hell of
lot.
fun.
It was really beautiful, mate. Our first podcast
Pretty
together.
wild, hey, it's very...
Fancy our
cool.
first one being with Scotty Parker.
Oh, perfect.
Wow, very professional, right? 100%. I'm just like, damn. Go easy on me next time, bro.
We will, mate. We're going to get to the tough stuff next time. But no, thank you very much for your time. Love you, mate. You're a
Love you
great.
too.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Beautiful to
Easy,
have you here. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Bye. I smell good.